Dona Dindu Sambaye Sanje Cheda Yindira Shanjo Nyambo Chigi Var Sabara Dane Jazundo Namo Gurudaya Namo Buddhaya Namo Dhammaya Namo Sanghaya Sanje Jeda Jogi Jonanga Janju Bata Tani Japso Che Dagi Jinsu Jiva De Dagi Rola Benje Sanje Goba Sho Simje Damje Deva Dan Deve Yuda Dembar Joshi Simje Damje Dunye Da Dunye Ye Yudan Deva Joshi Simje Damje Dunye Neve Deva Da Deva Joshi Simje Damje Nyeri Shada Nyidan Deve Danyum La Deva Jo Origin. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Again, we are here to have discussion on the topic 10 non-virtuous action, or you could say 10 virtuous action. So, Buddha says in the sutra, do not commit any non-virtuous action. Commit all the goodness and wholesome action. Discipline and tame your mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. So, Buddha taught a great deal of teachings on different places and at different times. But all these teachings that he gave are summarized or condensed into these 4 lines. If you try to understand this 4 lines in the simplest way, in the most simple way, then what he talks about is, if you want happiness, if you do search for happiness, if you want happiness, if you yearn for happiness, just do all the positive action. Cultivate all the good and pure emotions. If you do not want suffering, if you do not want painful experience, refrain from all the negative action. And then he talks about the method to cultivate, to cultivate those positive emotions and to discard, to overcome all the harmful emotions or destructive emotions. So there are again, different methods, but they taught different types of techniques, different methods to overcome the destructive emotions and to cultivate and develop all the positive emotions or helpful and beneficial emotions. So if you try to if you try to see and search, what kind of methods that Buddha taught, so then we do find that Buddha taught, Buddha turned the three wheels of Dharma. So in general, in the first turning wheel of Dharma, Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths, mainly the Four Noble Truths. Of course, there are many different, variety of teachings, which belongs to the first turning of the wheel of Dharma. But principally and mainly, Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths. In order to understand, in order to cultivate a deeper understanding, the deeper realizations of the Four Noble Truths, Buddha taught the 10 virtuous actions, like 10 virtuous actions, 8 noble paths. These are the methods, guarding the 10 virtuous actions and living us way of life in accord with the 8 noble path. So these guarding the 10 virtuous actions is the way to seek and to attain the nirvana, the moksha, or the long-lasting happiness, the long-lasting bliss. Then in the so the topic on the 10 virtuous actions is mainly taught for the beginners. Or the practitioner of the elementary level, the beginner level. But again, 10 virtuous actions really is the foundation for all the goodness, for leading a happy way of life, a satisfactory life, a contented life, living an ethical, disciplined way of life. Without refraining from 10 non-virtuous action, just trying to do what we call as very profound, vast, deep. This, it doesn't make any sense. There is simply no room for progression and improvement. So therefore, refraining from 10 non-virtuous actions really become the fundamental and the foundation on which one can then build the concrete to erect more profound trainings. Then in the second turning of the wheel of Dharma, then comes the second turning of wheel of Dharma. Then Buddha talks about the profound emptiness. In that teaching, all the perfection of wisdom sutra, the teaching on perfection, Buddha explained the teaching on emptiness in such a way that he uses the multiplicity of the reason and logic. He used different kinds of analogies. He used different kinds of examples to reach out to the understanding, to reach to the understanding, and to reach to the wisdom. That is again a special wisdom, a special kind of wisdom. So again, in that category of teaching, there are different kinds of many sutras which belongs to the second turning wheel of the Dharma. There are many sutras which talks about the profound and the vast emptiness. Profound and vast emptiness. So these teachings are mainly for those who are sharp faculties. Sharp faculties. They are of Mahayana practitioner. Because why Buddha gave all these, the profound teachings in the second turning of the wheel of Dharma. What is the purpose of Buddha giving the teaching, the discourse on such a profound subject like emptiness, selflessness? Because ultimately, we are to cross beyond the shore of suffering. We are to cross beyond. We have to cross beyond to reach to the shore of eternal bliss. A long-lasting happiness, a long-lasting blissful experience. but what really makes us, stuck? What really makes us stuck here and now, and not be able to go beyond, to explore, the city of joy is finally because of our the grasping or grasping at the things to be true existence inherent. This grasping really obstruct or prevent us from exploring further to reach to a state beyond our limitations, state beyond our limited freedom. And finally, and also, many of our destructive emotions, the painful experience, all the ups and downs, the fluctuating, state of our mind, all these lies fundamentally with the grasping mind that is called ignorance. Ignorance. Once that ignorance is removed from our mind, everything is perfect. Then we have got off our own limited freedom. We begin to enjoy as we wish. We experience the nakedness of our true mind. And this ignorance, what we call as ignorance, sometimes difficult to let go. We sometimes face the problem in letting go of that grasping I, independent I, the solid I. Not ready to let go, because we get used to this, to this grasping since long time ago, beyond measurement. So because of such a friendship with this grasping, our mind is not ready to let it go. So therefore, but the thought, let it go. So the method that he taught is profound emptiness. The method to overcome, to abandon, to remove this grasping, the grasping at I, the grasping at the mind, the grasping at the phenomena, all the outside phenomena is grasping. But the thought, different methods, and especially the most powerful method is the wisdom and the teaching on emptiness, profound emptiness. So this idea of the emptiness emptiness and dependent origination, dependent arising, and the emptiness are synonymous. Without emptiness, there's no dependent origination. Without dependent origination, there's no emptiness. So this should dependent origination, or what we call as interconnectedness, and the emptiness should always go hand by hand, go together. If we do not understand emptiness, we do not understand dependent origination. If we do not understand dependent origination, we also do not understand emptiness. So these two are really beautiful, words, and also relaxing, the relaxing tone. So this teaching on emptiness is for everyone. And then in the third turning wheel of the Dharma, then Buddha taught, many sutras like, but the main sutra is the sutra called Unraveling the Intention of the Buddha. Unraveling the Intention of Buddha, this sutra. Now this sutra is mainly for those, for a certain kind of, the people, the audience. Because sometimes some people do not, do not favor, do not, they value the external phenomena. They get tired of this, the external, the drama, and of the external things. So in that sutra, Buddha says nothing exists outside. Even the particles does not exist. The external phenomena does not exist. The flower does not exist. The person does not exist. The garden does not exist. Does not exist externally. Things does not exist externally. There is no external things. If the external things does not exist, then how can I see the other things? Then Buddha says, this is your mind. This is the activation of your imprint in your mind. What you see is the activation, the pure activation of your imprint. You have some imprint in your mind, When the causes and conditions arise, you are able to see, you are able to hear. So there's no other external phenomena other than your mind. Only the mind perceives it. So the external phenomena and your mind are of the same nature. Your mind and the external phenomena arise from the one imprint, energy. A part of your energy is called imprint. The part of your imprint in your mind, one goes to the object side, one goes to the subjective side. In this way, you are able to experience the things outside. So some people like this kind of idea, the view. So for these people, Buddha taught the third turning wheel of the Dharma. Right? Now, whether you appreciate, whether you really,
your understanding or your view goes well with the teaching of the third turning wheel of Dharma or second turning of wheel of Dharma. Whether you walk on to understand and cultivate the wisdom of emptiness, or the wisdom of non-duality. The wisdom of non-duality is what is taught in the third turning wheel of Dharma. In the second turning wheel of Dharma, the wisdom of the emptiness, that things does not exist. There is no absolute thing else out there. It's all your mind. Again, in the second turning wheel of Dharma, Buddha said there is no absolute object outside there. So, whatever kind of wisdom, whether you work on to cultivate the wisdom of non-duality or whether you work on to cultivate the wisdom of emptiness, the empty of inherent existence. At the fundamental level, you need to refrain from 10 non-virtuous actions. We need to refrain from 10 non-virtuous actions and to guard the 10 virtuous actions. So therefore, the training in guarding the 10 virtuous actions become important. Something really is the point. Now, say, we all know 10 virtuous actions, 10 non-virtuous actions. Opposite is the 10 non-virtuous actions. We have the 3 from the body. 3 from the body. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. These are from the 3 from the body. And then from the speech, from the verbal, therefore, telling lies, creating division, using harsh words or unpleasant words. Fourth, indulging in gossiping. 3 from the mind. Covetousness, harboring the ill intention, and wrong view or perverted view. So these are the 3 from the mind. So we have 10. Now, how, the question is, how do we go about refraining? How do we go about refraining from these 10 non-virtuous actions? Of course, we all try our best. We all try our best to refrain from these non-virtuous actions. But somehow, because of our pattern, because of our habituated, because of our pattern, it won't let us, it won't allow us easily to refrain. Of course, in a general, if you look at many countries, you know, it's a law, you know. Oh, you are not to kill. I mean, many countries condemn the killing. I mean, mostly the human being killing. You know, if we kill, you know, one would land it in jail. There is something common. So also major religious tradition. The world's major religious tradition also condemned killing. Again, human being. They're stealing also, you know, they condemn. Killing, stealing, you know, molesting, raping, one would land in jail. One would, in this very life, one would face a lot of problem by indulging in these things. Telling lie, gossiping, using harsh words, I mean, not that serious, you know. Because there's no country law, you know, there's no law in the country where, you know, oh, you should not tell lie, you know, you should not gossip. There's no such law to state. Fearing the law of the country, that one could refrain from this, you know, some of the non-virtuous action, killing, stealing, like, you know, to some extent sexual misconduct, telling lies, creating division. Or sometimes what we also call as secular ethics, you know, secularism, secular. Some people, they say, I'm not religious, but I'm, you know, um, yeah, they believe in secular. Now, from the Buddhist viewpoint, now purely from the perspective of the Buddhism, now again, there are different practitioners. You know, there are different practitioners. Some are, you know, practitioner at a beginner level. Some might be practitioner at the, you know, intermediate level or advanced practitioner. In all of these practitioners, refraining from 10 virtuous, non-virtuous actions and guarding the 10 virtuous actions should be followed. Now, let's see, how does Buddhism make us refrain from 10 non-virtuous actions? Now, say in the case of killing, stealing, sexual misconduct from the three bodies, from the bodies, from the bodies. Not only one is discouraged committing human being, but also we are taught and trained to refrain from killing even the animal. So, sometimes called as innocent animal. Dog, the cat, wild animals, and also insects. So sometimes we are having the problem with, of course, we may not kill that, of course, we are not going to kill, but then some, pet animals like cat, dogs, these are again, we may not kill. But then insects like, red bugs, cockroach, mosquitoes. Right. But again, how do we refrain? Anyway, how do we refrain from killing? Taking the life of others, including the insects. Now in the Buddhism says, oh, don't take the life of others. Do not also steal the other's object, others, property. Do not do the sexual misconduct. Do not indulge in sexual misconduct. What happened? If we indulge in these things, what would happen? Then, of course, we have four results. Ripening result, experiential result, habituated result, environmental result. We experience these four as a result of engaging and indulging in these, either of the 10 non-virtuous actions. The maturing result, or a ripening result. What is the ripening result? For example, if we take the life of others, because you have shortened the life of others, so as a result, the ripening result is one would take the birth in the unfavorable existence in the next life. In this very life, it is very possible that one would undergo a lot of painful experience, both at physical and mental level. Now, we might say, what's the big deal? If I go into the lower realm next life, what's the big deal? Yeah, I may take a birth in the lower realm. So then what? Then what? Yeah, if we take a birth in the lower realm, we go through intense and painful experience. for a very, very long time. Then what? Now the question is, then what? Once I experience the negative result, painful, experience, then I may get out. Sooner or later, I may get out and take another birth, favorable birth. In which case, if such question arises, what would happen? It clearly shows that we are not really thinking good, thinking well. Maybe we are living in a fantasy world. We blocked all our mind exploring the goodness. We try to understand. The reality is, in our present condition, what is our present condition? Our present condition is such that we do not desire even the smallest painful experience, even the smallest suffering, even the smallest trouble, even for 1 millisecond. And we yearn for happiness forever. It's not for 1 day, 2 days, or 10 years. It's forever. This is our nature. This is our innate nature in our mind. If that really is the case, then it is very understandable that we do not create any negative action that would force us to take a rebirth in somewhere where we even do not bear to suffer, even for 1 millisecond. Right now, if we do not bear to suffer even a small suffering, how can we imagine to bear the unbearable and intense suffering not for 2 or 3 days, for eons and eons? If we think from that line, if we think in that understanding, if we have that kind of understanding, we really have the courage to refrain from those negative actions, non-virtuous actions. So, you see, fearing, because not wanting to experience this painful experience and yearning for happiness, that is our reality. That is the innate nature of our mind. That being the case, we then try to refrain from negative actions. We try to refrain from negative actions and cultivate the positive emotions, the positive thoughts as much as possible to ensure for the higher rebirth, favorable rebirth, where we experience happiness and joy. So when we understand whether we, indulging in killing, stealing session is conducted, and then all this, telling lies, creating division, gossiping, harsh words, covetousness, harboring the evil intention, ill will, and perverted will. All this has the tendency, has the power to throw us in the existence that we don't like, that we would not like. So understanding that, then we try to refrain from the negative actions, the 10 non-virtuous actions. Not only the 10 non-virtuous actions, we also then develop the wish to refrain from, to overcome those destructive emotions, negative emotions. Because 10 non-virtuous actions are mainly motivated out of negative emotions, destructive emotions, harmful emotions. So we also develop the wish to remove, abandon those destructive emotions, negative emotions, unhealthy emotions. And then first we refrain from these negative actions, and then we cultivate the desire, the wish to guard, to keep and indulge and engage in the 10 virtuous actions. The thing is, the wonderful thing about the keeping and guarding the 10 virtuous actions is such that if we were to meditate, if we were to find the time for cultivating the Shamanta meditation, sometimes called as calm abiding meditation, calm abiding Shamanta meditation. If we have the morality, if we have the pure ethics, pure morality, it is said that we can achieve this meditation experience within 6 months. Within 6 months. See. And the good quality about that calm abiding meditation is that once we develop this experience, we have no tightness. We have no tightness of the body. We have no tightness of the mind. Right now, even if we do, some virtuous actions, even if we, do some good actions, for just 5 minutes, we easily get tired. We get distracted here and there. Our mind is not in service. Our body is not in service. Is not serviceable. Our mind is not serviceable. Once we achieve this calm abiding meditation, our mind can remain calm and fixed on the object for as long as you can. 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 10 days, even without drinking, even without taking food. Because you cultivated the pliancy, the suppleness of the body and the mind. You have overcome the limitation of the mind, limitation of the body. in this situation, under such situation, whatever virtues that we do becomes such a powerful. So in Buddhism, at the fundamental level, at the foundational level, this is how we can refrain from 10 non-virtuous actions and cultivate the wish to guard and keep the 10 virtuous actions joyfully. Now we can understand. Now we can understand the second level of refraining from 10 non-virtuous actions and how do we engage and indulge in the 10 virtuous actions, refraining from 10 non-virtuous actions and indulge in the 10 virtuous actions. How do we go about that? Now in the intermediate level, at the intermediate level, at the medium level, now that is really something interesting. That really is truly interesting, Now our understanding is really enhanced. We have very good understanding. Once we understand this, you have understood the spiritual training of the person of the medium capacity. Once we understand that, there is no way that we can go astray. Sometimes, we practice Dharma for a long time, but then at the same time, we yearn for the result, positive result, good sign, good indications. When things does not go as we expected, sometimes we feel discouraged. Sometimes we are easy to give up. Mind. Now, this understanding is really profound. If we have this kind of understanding that we are going to discuss shortly, we don't have any question. We should not have any question how to do the practice. Please guide me. Please help me. We should not have this kind of question. We should not have this kind of, the request, because you know how to do in the right way. We know. We come to realize, we come to understand exactly how we are to proceed. Once we understand this, we are on the highway. There is no zigzag in our life. There would be no zigzag in our life. At least, even if we do understand, we create a lot of merit. We can be a healer. We can be a psychologist. We can be our own psychiatrist. Sometimes we advise other people. Sometimes we give the suggestion. We give the ideas. We try to help, very good. But then when we go through our own problem, how to address our own problem, that's the question. When we have our own problem, situation, how do we solve? How can we address it? What really missing is internalization. We lack internalizing. We lack self-reflection. We do not do meditation. We don't do meditation. Although we are doing meditation in some way, but we are not doing the essence of the meditation. We are lacking that essence. Just understanding would really help us greatly, really make us our life better in many, many ways. Of course, if we do practice, then some kind of spiritual realization, spiritual experience should develop. In this regard, I should tell honestly, I do not have that experience about this, but this understanding, I'm so impressed. These great masters, from India in the land of snow, they truly beautified the Buddha's teaching with such kind of explanation, the pure explanation. Your experience, what is presented in the teaching, Dharma, the experience, the teaching, and the reality, external reality, all this 100% goes together. They go together. It is not something, contradiction. There is no contradiction. It's so impressive. That explanation, the teaching is so impressive, so fascinating. From the Dharma, there are many, many things to learn. Really, many things to learn. Sometimes we think, Dharma is just for few, just for some, just for spend, few hours, and then when you are out of that duration, is something different. We think that, but actually it's not. In day-to-day life, one's day-to-day life, whether one is happy, whether one is unhappy, one can see the high value of this understanding. And also, sometimes we should have some courage to accept the reality. Sometimes, sometimes we are so frightened, so we are so afraid to accept the reality. We try to run away. We try to escape the reality rather than facing it, rather than addressing the issue. We should have really courageous and bold enough to face the reality, to understand the reality, to understand what others have to say. I would say what I have to say, not what I have to advise. I don't know how to advise. I myself need some advice. But what I have to say, sometimes we need to open. We need to have the openness about what others have to say. Sometimes our mind is totally blocked, not ready. Now, yeah, we talk about, we better talk about, second level of understanding. How can we refrain from 10 non-virtuous actions and engage and indulge in the 10 virtuous actions to make our life something purposeful, something truly to the meaning. Now, we talk about, we already know 10 non-virtuous actions, 3 from the bodies, 4 from the speech, 3 from the mind. We know, because I already discussed briefly. Now, in all these 10 non-virtuous actions, just see, in all these 10 non-virtuous actions, right? For example, take the case of killing or stealing or sexual misconduct. Because now I'm trying to explain the second level of understanding. First level, we have done, right? Now the second level, how can we refrain from the 10 non-virtuous actions and indulge in the 10 virtuous actions? Now the second level. Whether we indulge in taking the life of others or stealing or sexual misconduct. First, we need to check what is the motivation, what is our intention. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, telling lies, using harsh words, creating division, gossiping, in all these 7, we should have some motivation. We should have some kind of motivation. Whatever these kind of 7 non-virtuous actions we do, there should be some motivation. We cannot do these things in sleep. Or now you could try to, for example, in the case of the killing, right? Maybe killing the animal, right? Wild animal, for example, right? One can kill the wild animal out of crave for the meat, or crave for the skin, or crave for the animal skin, or the arm. So in which case the craving is involved, attachment is involved. In the case of the in the case of the anger, killing the animal, like small insect, because this small, the cockroach, the rat or mice destroy our clothes, destroy our grocery thing. So we, out of anger, we poison them. So, you see, there should be no killing without involving the motivation. So there is some motivation. There should be motivation. Now, the motivation is either anger or attachment or ignorance. Now here, mainly the anger and attachment. So, anger and attachment. What is the nature of the anger and attachment? We need to understand this. Not only the anger and attachment, in general, there are there are four characteristics. There are four features of the destructive emotions, negative emotions. These are the cause of the negative emotions. What are the cause? The cause is really inauspicious. The cause of all the negative emotions is really inauspicious. It's not a good, because all the negative emotions comes from the ego, comes from the grasping. I say ego, ego or grasping, not good. Therefore, Buddha taught, the emptiness to remove this, grasping, the ego, whatever we call it, in terms of the cause, it is inauspicious in one's life. There is no other thing, not that much, auspicious. The real inauspicious is the grasping, the ignorance. We call ignorance. This is the cause is inauspicious. What is the nature? What is the nature of negative emotions like anger, hatred, or attachment? The nature is disturbing. These are very disturbing. The moment this arises in your mind, the moment it comes in your mind, your peace of mind is lost. You have no peace of mind. Your mind is right away, instantly disturbed. You don't enjoy the food, you don't enjoy the good sleep. This is the nature. What is the function? What is the function? The function is destructive. The destructive nature, because it destroys. In the human history, there war. We have the history of the war, country to country. Region to region, the place to place. In the war, such that, the anger, once this hatred, it destroys, unimaginable destruction happen. Do you see? One person, for example, like leader, the dictator, in the human history, the dictator killing millions of people. All this, nothing but motivated out of anger and hatred. This hatred create a mass destruction. Therefore, the nature is so destructive. The resultant stage of this destructive emotion is finally it ruined everything. In the individual person, it ruined one's health, one's wealth, one's peace of mind, everything. Even at the international level, the whole country is brought into total, mess. Enough to bring endless and sheds endless tears. We understand these destructive emotions in 4 categories, in 4 features, 4 characteristics. Then we check. Now, in the case of taking the life of the animal, right? Are we ready to do so? Now, in the case of the, taking the life of the animal, for example, right? Or you can also, one would also, in these days now, a lot of war, war here and there. Sometimes people, we see, in the media, people get, killed by shooting, poisoning. Object, the person or the animal that we are going to kill, that we are to kill. What is their nature? What is the nature of the human being? What is the nature of the animal? No need to take the life of other. They will finally, the time come that they will go. The animal can go. The time come. What is their nature? It's really pitiable nature. It's really pitiable nature. If we do understand the pitiable nature, instead of doing some harm, we really develop the love and compassion for them because of the pitiable nature. What are the pitiable nature? Because the pitiable nature is in the very first place. They are subjected to sickness. They are subjected to getting sick. They are finally subjected to disappear, vanish from this earth. Then how can we take their life? Somebody who is in the street, very in the pathetic condition, going through sickness, terrible sickness, are we going to take that person's life? No. Why? Because we feel it. We feel the pathetic condition. Once we do understand the pathetic condition, it is out of our mind to take their life. So understand. We need to understand. And then, is an animal or human being, they are not perfect, Sooner or later, when the causes and conditions come together, as a human being, as a being characterized by karma and delusion, characterized by karma delusion is prone to receive many unwelcome things. Understand that nature. And then we are not going to take the life of even the insect, let alone human being, let alone animal, even the insect, that we even don't think about taking their life. Because of the pathetic nature in Buddhism, this is so beautifully rich, so beautifully expressed, so beautifully said. I'm always amazed, always mesmerized by such a profound explanation that Buddhism called the impermanent and the dissatisfying nature. I'm not talking impermanent alone. I'm talking about impermanent, which is characterized by karma and delusion and dissatisfying nature. Apply this understanding to all the beings, everything. We are in a better position. We will, at least we will refrain, we will abstain from harming others and try to, at least we refrain from harming others. And then Mahayanas, if you enter into the Mahayana, then this Mahayana teaching inspired us to don't kill, don't take the life of others, save the life of others. Do not steal, practice giving to others. So, you are encouraged, you are inspired to do all the virtuous actions. Whereas at the fundamental level, at the elementary and medium level, we are always discouraged from indulging in negative actions. Right? So now, you can understand this in the case of killing. Now, in the case of stealing, same. We need to understand. In the case of the stealing, mainly we have some attachment for the others' property, others' thing. Then think about the nature of what is the nature of the what is the cause of the attachment in auspicious. What is the nature of the attachment? It's something disturbing nature. What is the functionality? Destructive functionality. What is the resultant stage? The resulting stage is always unwelcome and unwanted and ruin. So these are the shortcomings, the defects of the attachment. Not only the attachment, all the negative emotions. And then you see it. If there is a stealing, like this, the object. What is the nature of the object? Nature of the object. Maybe gold, maybe diamond. So we need to understand what are the nature of the product. What are the nature of the product? Give me an example. I have a glass, I have a, we have, some diamond glass, or we have some diamond, the watch. Yes, we need diamond watch. We may have, it's very good. It's very good to have diamond watch. But then the question is, if we let it fall, if we let it loose, if we let it release from your hand, it fall down on the ground. How can we expect it not to break? How can we expect it not to break? Will it break or not? It break. Why it break? Because to break, to get it break, to get it become old, is the nature of the diamond glass. I have the, here you have iPhone. If I let it fall down, will it break? Break. Why? This is the nature. And because of such nature, how can we develop, oh, this is so wonderful. If I may get this, it's very good. Very strong attachment for the things, But at the same time, we need to understand their reality. What is their reality? Once we do understand their reality, oh, no, the wish to refrain from stealing also comes, and indulge in the guarding, the work, in giving the resources, helping for the poor people, helping, giving away your resources to others comes automatically. Now, we have, now let me, till 1, then I will stop. Now we have reached the time. Now, in the case of the sexual misconduct, right, again, the attachment is involved. Attachment, somebody, the wife or, the husband belongs to somebody's husband, somebody's wife, we try to indulge in this, sexual misconduct. Again, as said earlier, think about the shortcomings and the defects of the attachment. And then think about the person that indulge in the object, the person to indulge in the sexual misconduct. What is the nature? Need to understand this. As a result, because of this, nature, the whole family is destroyed. There is no, happy atmosphere, very tense atmosphere. And then how long one is going to spend with that person? Expecting to live forever? Definitely. Because when strong emotions arises, strong, there's a tendency to look, to remain forever with that person. But in reality, that is not the case. Our, our mind, our emotion is distorted, thinking that, something will be, blissful forever. But in reality, totally is the opposite. So need to see the nature, we could see the reality of that person. That person is, not in the pure land, not something permanent, not something unchanging. The person should change. The body changing, the mind changing, the feeling changes. Not remain the feeling, the body, the mind remain unchanged forever. There is no such thing. But when attachment arises, we have the tendency to see in that way. So we see this, see the reality, understand the reality, and then develop the wish to refrain from negative action and indulge in, encouraging others not to engage in sexual misconduct. Okay. Then, this is something important, this thing, we still have left, 7 or 9, the remaining non-virtuous action, and also, refraining from the third method, the third training in refraining from the negative non-virtuous actions, 10 non-virtuous actions, and indulge in the virtuous action. That is now from the Mahayana standpoint. So I think we have reached the time. So I think I would better stop here. If you have any question, welcome. Otherwise, we will read the, dedication prayer. It looks like we have no. If we don't have questions, then we will do the dedication prayer. Hello? Chanjo senjo rinpo che mo ye bo na ye jo je ke wa nyamba me ba ya kane pando pe wa shu yang da da wa rinpo che ma ye ba na ye jo je ke wa nyamba me ba ya kane pando pe wa shu tong wa da ne de ba Jemba dani reba yin dani senji tamji ki nena genya ye yo ye sazu jongwa jingwa nongwa jindu tabo yang senji dadu yeba yin nama nye xie xie yan shu jeze namga neba tang ro de se ne yo ne Teze dani ne yo ne, dove dunye se var shu, tene jeze alama doje je, ma yo dove de de dunye ke, ma le da 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 la ne ba da, da je de je xian la tang ba ye, ro je de da de var jing ye lo. Jambe ba yun je de jian ba da, guan du sang bu de yang de xin de,
대다 경계 제수 다로지 예와 예다 담제라도 계속시비 예와 담제기 모와 강나 정도 나바니 나예 제비야 자와니 예자 상고 제제라도 모와 예 야와 견도 샤베 도장와 제 방에 제 모조 제 양다 리미 다과 쇼예 데 샤베 로예 모월 덴바 쇼 다데 양다 다예 마시에 데 창조 센자 렌제 제레 두 요아시에 바데 모바라도 신예 레와 레보 다네我天的一月八三本在沙上都有些说些原因，解决个也新年南月弄，这里云南也些大家儿说。没说这些也没见到那等的路外没别的巴达，大爷拉上大白拖大街，没别本地的人就有些，你们这的人间。心体面给我不讲的呀，看见见作业做啊。有三得加罗娑安耶。
Ờ, xin mọi người cố gắng truyền bá lớp này đến tất cả các đạo hữu. Thật sự đây là một cái pháp không những chỉ là giúp chúng ta giữ giới mà có thể chuyển hóa được cái nghiệp của chúng ta. Như thầy vừa mới giảng xong và sẽ tiếp tục giảng. Xin cảm ơn tất cả mọi người.
Yeah, thank you Ben so much. Cảm ơn mọi người, cảm ơn tất cả mọi người đã vào nghe pháp ngày hôm nay.
Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome. Yeah, everybody.
Thank you Rinpoche.
Yeah.
Cảm ơn ban tổ chức.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Dạ, đây là lớp thầy sẽ giảng mỗi tuần nha mọi người. Dạ, có thể là trong vòng khoảng 2 tháng đó, cho nên là mỗi tuần đều vô cũng cùng giờ này. Dạ, xin cảm ơn tất cả mọi người.
Okay.